You wake up, you drink water, maybe coffee. You go train, and you wonder why the guy next to you is progressing faster than you with less effort in the gym. It's not his genetics. It's not his program. It's what he did before he even left the house. And most of you did the opposite of that this morning without even realizing it. Number 1, whole eggs. 2 or 3 of them. Yolks fully included. Not the egg white omelet nonsense some influencer convinced you was clean a decade ago. The yolk carries choline, which your body uses to build cell membranes, and dietary cholesterol, which is the literal raw material your body converts into testosterone. Cook them however you like, scrambled, fried, doesn't matter, but the yolk stays. Some researcher in the late 80s published a scared half-finished study on dietary cholesterol. The media ran with it for 2 straight decades, and an entire generation of men threw away the single most useful part of the egg out of pure panic. Meanwhile, the man who kept eating the yolk the whole time never had a problem. Funny how that works. Number 2, water, with a small pinch of salt mixed in. I already know half of you rolled your eyes at that. Stay with me anyway. You've just spent 7, 8, maybe 9 hours in a fasted state overnight, and you wake up mildly dehydrated every single morning, whether you feel it or not. Dehydration reduces blood plasma volume, and reduced blood volume means less efficient delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the muscle tissue you're trying to grow in the gym later that day. A full glass, first thing, pinch of salt for the sodium, before coffee touches your mouth. It costs nothing and takes 15 seconds. If that's genuinely too much effort for you, I don't know what else to tell you. This whole list is going to be a problem. Number 3, Greek yogurt, plain, with a small handful of berries mixed in. Greek yogurt gives you a slow-digesting casein protein alongside a faster whey fraction, and that combination starts shutting down the muscle protein breakdown that's been happening quietly all night while you slept and did nothing but breathe. The berries aren't garnish. They bring polyphenols and antioxidants that help your body manage the inflammation your training generates later in the day. 1 cup of yogurt, a small handful of berries, maybe 90 seconds of effort total. That's 3 items down, and none of them required a blender, a scale, or a subscription. Here's the mechanism tying all of this together, and it's the reason the 6 a.m. window specifically matters instead of any other hour. Testosterone in men runs on a genuine daily rhythm. It peaks in the early morning hours, right around the time most of you are hitting snooze for the 3rd time, and it declines steadily for the rest of the day. That's not a wellness influencer talking point. That's the actual reason legitimate blood labs instruct men to get testosterone drawn before 10 in the morning, because that's the only window where the number reflects your real baseline, which means what you put into your body during that window isn't a neutral decision. It either works with that natural peak or it wastes it completely. Every item from here forward is built specifically around that 6 to 7 a.m. window, not just healthy eating in general. Number 4, plain rolled oats. Not the sugar-loaded flavored packets that belong in the cereal aisle, not the protein oatmeal with more additives than oats. Half a cup, dry measured, before you add anything else. Your muscle glycogen, the stored carbohydrate your muscles actually burn through during training, is partially depleted every single morning purely from the hours you spent sleeping. Oats refill that tank with complex carbohydrates your body breaks down slowly, which means you're not spiking hard and crashing before your first working set at the gym. It's not glamorous. Nobody's making a documentary about oatmeal. It still works every single day for free. Most men watching this right now are about to skip the next item because it contradicts something they read online. Don't. This is the one most men are getting wrong every single morning without knowing it. Number 5, coffee. Black. No seed oil creamer marketed to you as healthy, but you wait 60 to 90 minutes after waking before you drink it. I already hear the fasting crowd yelling at their screens. Black coffee first thing, they said. The ultimate morning move. Here's the actual mechanism. Cortisol, the hormone that helps wake you up in the first place, is already naturally elevated the moment your eyes open. That's called the cortisol awakening response, and it's well documented. Caffeine stacks directly on top of that existing peak instead of complementing it, and for a lot of men that combination shows up later as the crash around 10 a.m. that they blame on just being tired. Let the natural cortisol spike do its job first, then let the caffeine extend the alertness instead of front-loading it. It's a small adjustment. It's also one almost nobody makes. Numbers 1 through 5 were reasonable. You could tell your coworkers about any of them without getting a weird look. Number 6 is going to get you a weird look. Do it anyway. Number 6, beef liver. 3 to 4 ounces, pan-seared in butter with salt, or a few capsules of desiccated liver if the texture is genuinely a deal-breaker for you. Though I'd argue you're missing the point. This isn't a full meal. It's a nutrient-dense addition, not a plate replacement. Ounce for ounce, there is no food sitting on a regular grocery shelf that comes close to liver for vitamin A, vitamin B12, copper, and iron. All 4 of which your body uses directly in cellular energy production and in the hormonal pathways that support testosterone synthesis. The fitness industry sells you a $30 a month multivitamin trying to replicate a fraction of what 4 ounces of liver does for around $6 a pound. Nobody in that industry is going to tell you that, because there's no recurring subscription revenue in a cow's organ meat. I know exactly what half of you are thinking right now. Liver. At 6 in the morning, before work. Yes. Your grandfather's generation didn't treat this as a fringe biohack. It was just what serious men ate, long before anyone needed a podcast to explain why. They weren't exactly walking around underdeveloped. Sear it hard in butter, salt it properly, and eat it like a man who takes this seriously, not like a man optimizing a breakfast photo for an app nobody will remember in 5 years. Number 7, Brazil nuts. 1, maybe 2. And I mean exactly that, not a handful, because these are absurdly concentrated in selenium, and more is not better here. More is just unnecessary. Selenium works alongside zinc as a required cofactor in the biological pathway your body uses for healthy testosterone production. And it's one of the few minerals most men are quietly deficient in without ever knowing it, because nobody's routinely testing for it. Stack this next to the liver from number 6 and you've covered more genuine hormonal groundwork before 6:15 a.m. than most men manage in an entire week of what they call eating clean. That's not motivation talk. That's just what the 2 foods do when they're combined. Number 8, sardines. A small can, packed in olive oil, not the ones drowning in soybean oil at the bottom shelf. These are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D you can actually eat, along with a solid dose of omega-3 fatty acids. And vitamin D functions more like a hormone in your body than a vitamin. It's directly tied to healthy testosterone regulation, which is exactly why so many men living in low sunlight climates test low on both at the same time. 1 small can, straight out of the tin if you're not precious about it, or on toast if you need to feel civilized about your breakfast. Yes, it smells like a decision you'll regret in a work meeting. Eat it before you leave the house, not after. Number 9, pumpkin seeds. A small handful, raw, not the honey-roasted version that's basically candy wearing a seed costume. These are one of the highest natural sources of zinc available, and zinc is a required mineral your body uses directly in testosterone synthesis. It's not a supporting player, it's a core ingredient. Most men are mildly deficient in it without any symptoms obvious enough to notice, which means most men are quietly leaving results on the table for the cost of a bag of seeds. Sprinkle them on the yogurt from number 3. Eat them plain, doesn't matter. Just don't skip them because they don't look impressive next to a protein shake. Impressive and effective were never the same thing. So here's how this actually plays out tomorrow morning. Because information without execution is just entertainment you watched once and forgot. The floor, the absolute minimum version of this. 2 or 3 whole eggs and a full glass of water with a pinch of salt in it before anything else touches your system. That's it. That takes less total time than the average man spends scrolling his phone before getting out of bed, which, statistically, is almost certainly what you're doing right now while this video plays in the background. Add the yogurt and berries when you've got the extra 90 seconds. Bring in the oats on days you're not rushing out the door. Push the coffee back that extra hour. Work the liver and the Brazil nuts into 3 or 4 mornings a week. Not because you need to be extreme about any of this, but because consistency wins this game every time, and intensity without consistency wins nothing. Nobody's going to hand you a peer-reviewed study that says any single morning routine literally doubles your muscle gains. And if a channel ever tells you that with a completely straight face, you should be just as skeptical of them as you are of the supplement industry. What actually happens here is simpler and considerably more honest than a headline. You stop working against your own biology every single morning, and you start working with it instead. That compounds, not overnight, not in a week, but over months of mornings stacked on top of each other. That was always going to be the answer. It was always going to be boring. Boring is what actually works, and that's exactly why almost nobody does it consistently. If this changed how you think about what breakfast is actually supposed to do for a man serious about this, the next video breaks down exactly what's quietly sabotaging your recovery every single night while you sleep. And it's probably not what you think it is. Subscribe if you want that one before it just shows up in your feed by accident. Stop wasting the first 10 minutes of your day. Start using them like they matter, because they do. Now go eat the yolk.